UVSU win the only battle that matters, ladies and gentlemen, champions in the making. Let me tell you something real. The greatest battle you'll ever fight is not against your competition. It's not against time, society, or even your circumstances. It's UVSU, and that's the most important fight of your life. Every single morning, there are two versions of you staring back in the mirror. One wants comfort, the other craves greatness. One wants to snooze the alarm and stay average. The other wants to rise, grind, and grow. One is full of doubt, the other is full of fire, and only one gets to win. You see, most people lose the battle before they even start. They lose to laziness, to fear, to excuses. They let the old version of themselves, full of limitations and lies, keep showing up day after day, but not you. You're here because deep down you know you're capable of more. You've tasted potential. You've glimpsed what's possible when you stop blaming, stop waiting, and start becoming. The truth is, your real competition isn't out there. It's the one in your head whispering, "You're not ready. You failed last time. What if you mess up again?" That voice. That's the version of you that fears change, because change means effort. Change means discomfort. Change means evolution. And that voice doesn't want you to evolve. Because when you evolve, you kill the old you. The real enemy is in the mirror, understanding that your toughest battle is internal, not external. Let me tell you a truth most people never hear in their lifetime. The real enemy is not out there, it's in the mirror. It's not your competition, it's not your critics. It's not your circumstances, your boss, your past, or your pain. It's you. You are your greatest challenge, not because you're weak, but because you're powerful, more powerful than you even realize. And power, when not controlled, can destroy just as easily as it can create. When we talk about the journey to success, we often think it's about conquering the world. But in reality, it's about conquering yourself. Because the world outside is just a reflection of what's happening inside, let me ask you, what's stopping you right now from leveling up? Is it really the lack of resources, or is it the lack of resolve? Is it really the people around you, or the voice inside you saying, "You're not ready yet"? That voice in your head, the one that doubts you, delays you, distracts you, that is the real enemy. It shows up when you're tired. It gets loud when you're scared. It loves comfort, fears effort, and absolutely hates change. But here's the good news. That voice isn't the truth. It's a test. You are not your excuses. You are not your fear. You are not your failures. But if you don't face that voice, if you don't confront that enemy within, it will run your life. It will talk you out of opportunities. It will convince you to shrink, to settle, to stay in the same place while your potential rots in silence. The mirror doesn't lie. It reflects exactly what you're allowing. The skipped workouts, the ignored dreams, the conversations you keep avoiding, the greatness you keep postponing. You want to change your life. Start with the reflection. Every champion, every world-class achiever, every leader who changed the game, they didn't just beat the competition. They beat the version of themselves that said, "Stay average." They woke up every day and made a decision. I will not be defeated by myself. I will not let fear win. I will not let comfort hold me hostage. Let me be real with you. The world owes you nothing, but you owe yourself everything. You owe yourself honesty. You owe yourself discipline. You owe yourself effort, especially when it's hard. So stop pointing fingers. Stop blaming your childhood, your environment, your friends, or the economy. Because as long as you're focused on what's out there, you're ignoring what's inside that truly needs fixing. The mirror is your coach, not your enemy. It doesn't show what you want to see. It shows what you need to see. Look in the mirror and ask, am I doing my best? Am I playing small? Am I letting fear write my story? And if the answer makes you uncomfortable, good. That's where growth begins. Because the most powerful breakthroughs happen after honest conversations with yourself. The kind where no one else is around, no cameras, no applause. Just you, raw and real, standing face to face with the one person responsible for everything, you. Here's what I want you to remember. You are your competition. You are your resistance. You are your solution. This battle inside won't be won in a single day. It's a daily war between the old you and the version of you that's trying to be born. And every decision, every action, every moment is a vote for which one will rise. So from this day forward, stop playing defense. Step into the ring and face the enemy in the mirror with everything you've got. Fight for your dreams, fight for your peace, fight for your potential, not because it's easy. Not because you're fearless, but because you refuse to be your own reason for failure. The real enemy is in the mirror, but so is the real champion, and the world is waiting on them, not the one hiding, not the one hesitating, but the one ready to fight and win from the inside out. So look in the mirror, lock eyes with your reflection, and say this loud: "It's me vs me, and I will win." Kill the comfort. Feed the fire you choose daily between comfort and growth, and your future depends on it. Let's get something straight from the start. Comfort is the silent killer of dreams. It whispers to you that you're fine where you are, that you don't need to try harder, that things will eventually get better on their own. But that's a lie. Growth doesn't live in comfort. Success doesn't grow in soft soil. Everything you want, the life you dream of, the strength you need, the greatness you're chasing, it's waiting outside your comfort zone. And the only way to get there is to make a decision every single day to kill the comfort and feed the fire. We live in a world that worships convenience, fast food, fast results, fast success. But what we rarely talk about is that everything meaningful takes effort. Discomfort is the currency of growth. You want a stronger body. You've got to embrace the pain of the workout. You want a sharper mind. You've got to endure the boredom of discipline. You want a better life. You've got to sacrifice the comfort that's keeping you average. Every day you wake up, you are standing at a crossroads. One road is comfortable, the other is challenging, and the road you choose determines the future you live. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it steals your hunger, your urgency, your edge. It convinces you that later is okay, that someday is still a plan. But the truth is, comfort zones are graveyards for growth, because nothing legendary has ever been born from staying safe. Look at the greats. Athletes, leaders, entrepreneurs, artists, they didn't rise because it was easy. They rose because they chose the hard path. They fed the fire inside them, even when it would have been easier to cool it down. Let me ask you something honest. What is comfort costing you right now? The book you haven't written, the weight you haven't lost, the business you haven't started, the version of you that you keep saying one day, two. You weren't meant to live a life of almost. You weren't built for just enough. There's a fire in you, and you either feed it or you let it die. Feeding the fire means choosing what's hard, even when no one's watching. It means showing up when motivation is gone. It means doing the right thing when no one claps for you. It means saying no to comfort and yes to becoming something more. That fire inside you, that passion, that desire, that voice that says you were made for more. That's your real self begging to be unleashed. But it can't grow if you keep putting out the flames with excuses. Excuses protect your comfort. Discipline protects your future. You don't get stronger by avoiding the fire. You get stronger by walking through it, by learning to endure, to push, to rise through resistance. And the best part, that fire you feed starts to spread. It fuels your mind. It strengthens your habits. It sharpens your focus. It turns ordinary days into something extraordinary. Here's what people forget. Comfort may feel safe, but it's a trap that keeps you small, a trap that keeps you stuck. And worst of all, a trap that convinces you this is all there is. But deep down, you know better. You know there's another level. You've seen glimpses of it in your passion, in your ambition, in those moments where you said, I was made for more than this. So feed that. Fan the flames, kill the version of you that's just getting by, and rise into the version of you that's getting after it. It won't be easy, the path of growth never is. But while comfort gives you ease today, it steals your confidence tomorrow. And growth may hurt today, but it gives you pride, power, purpose, and that's worth every ounce of struggle. So the next time comfort calls, ignore it. The next time fear says stay where it's safe, smile and move forward anyway. Because you were not born to stay the same. You were born to evolve, to stretch, to build, to burn with purpose. Kill the comfort, feed the fire, and watch how your life transforms when you finally choose the path that builds you, not the one that pacifies you. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a relentless mindset. Comfort won't create your legacy, but the fire inside you, that will. Let it burn. Your habits build or break you. Every small decision shapes which version of you shows up tomorrow. Let me start with a simple truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. We all have dreams. We all want success, health, wealth, happiness, purpose. But dreams without habits, that's just wishful thinking. Your life is built daily, not in big moments, but in small repeated actions. And whether you realize it or not, your habits are either building you or breaking you. Think about this. You don't become unhealthy overnight. You skip one workout, then another, then another. You don't go broke in a day. You spend a little carelessly, you ignore your budget, you swipe the card too easily, you don't lose discipline all at once. You say just this once, too many times, tiny decisions, repeated daily. That's what builds your future. We like to believe life changes in big breakthroughs, but real transformation, it happens in small, quiet, consistent choices. It's the 5:00 a.m. alarm you refuse to snooze. It's the book you read instead of scrolling for hours. It's the daily journaling, the meal prep, the deep work sessions, the way you speak to yourself when no one's listening. Those things may seem small in the moment, but over time they compound, they multiply. They define you, so the question becomes, what are your habits saying about the person you're becoming? Because here's the deal, you are always becoming someone. Whether you're intentional about it or not, you're shaping your future self every single day. You skip your commitments, you become unreliable, you lie to yourself, you become untrustworthy even to your own goals, you do everything, you become average by default. But on the flip side, you show up when it's hard, you become resilient, you finish what you start, you become confident, you stick to your standards, you become powerful. Success is not about motivation. Motivation fades. Habits are about identity. You don't just do productive things, you become a productive person. You don't just eat healthy, you are someone who takes care of your body. You don't just read books, you are someone who feeds their mind. And once that identity locks in, your actions align automatically. Let me give you a mindset shift. Don't ask, what do I want to achieve? Ask, who do I want to become? Then ask, what habits does that version of me practice every day? Because if your habits don't match your vision will never become reality. Here's the beautiful part, you don't need to change everything overnight. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to win today. You just need to say, today, I will honor my time. Today, I will fuel my body. Today, I will speak with purpose. Today, I will build the version of me that I admire, one day at a time. One choice at a time, but let's be real, building new habits is not glamorous, it's boring, it's repetitive, it's frustrating, but that's the price of growth. You either suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And regret, that's far heavier. So when it's hard and it will be, remind yourself, you are not doing this for today. You're doing this for the future you, the one who's proud, the one who's confident, the one who walks into rooms with quiet power because they've been putting in the unseen work. Let me leave you with this, your habits are either armor or a trap. They either protect your potential or poison it. They either elevate you or eliminate your edge. So look at your daily actions with brutal honesty and ask, are these habits building me or breaking me? If they're breaking you, change them, not next month. Not next Monday now, because the version of you that's waiting in the future is not built by luck. They are built by what you repeatedly do, so start stacking wins, one healthy choice, one focused hour, one positive routine at a time. It may not feel like much today, but tomorrow you'll be stronger, sharper, and closer to the person you were always meant to be. Build wisely, because your habits are building you. No applause needed, evolve in silence. True transformation happens when no one's watching. In a world obsessed with likes, shares, and instant validation, we've forgotten one of the greatest truths of personal growth. The most powerful transformations don't happen on stage. They happen in silence, when no one's clapping, when no one's cheering, when no one even knows what you're going through. It's easy to perform when the spotlight's on. But true evolution, the kind that lasts, is born in the dark, behind closed doors, when it's just you versus the old version of yourself. You don't need applause to become great. You don't need a crowd to build discipline. You don't need recognition to develop purpose. You just need to commit to growth even when no one notices, because here's the truth: growth is personal, growth is quiet, growth is lonely, and if you're chasing applause, you're chasing the wrong thing. Think about a seed. It grows underground in complete darkness long before it breaks the surface. No one sees the struggle, no one sees the roots forming, no one claps for the process. But when the time is right, it breaks through strong, steady, and unshakable. That's you. Your roots are forming in silence. Your strength is building in solitude. And one day, when you rise, people will call it sudden success, but you'll know it wasn't sudden at all. The real work happens when no one's watching. It's the late-night study sessions, the lonely workouts, the quiet journaling, the silent prayers, the daily disciplines that get no attention but produce all the results. Because the work you do in private eventually becomes the strength you show in public. But too many people quit because no one's cheering for them. They give up because the progress isn't getting likes. They stop showing up because the world isn't clapping yet. Let me tell you something: your growth doesn't need an audience, it needs commitment. Stop needing to be seen to take yourself seriously. Some of your greatest breakthroughs will happen in moments of total obscurity, when it's just you, your goals, your doubts, and your refusal to quit. You evolve when you stop performing and start becoming. Because applause fades, hype dies, but character, that stays, and character is built in the quiet places. The people who grow the most aren't the loudest. They're the most consistent. They don't need to prove anything. They're too focused on improving everything. They don't post every win. They stack silent victories. They don't announce every goal. They let results speak. They evolve in silence, not because they're hiding, but because they're building. And when the time comes to speak, their actions shout louder than words ever could. So if you're in a season where it feels like no one sees your effort, keep going. If you're grinding in silence while others show off, keep going. If you're growing quietly while others chase approval, keep going, because your reward isn't applause, it's transformation. And the person you become in the shadows will be the one who shines when it matters most. Let others chase attention. You chase evolution. Let others talk about it. You be about it. Let others seek validation. You build value silently, patiently, powerfully, because in the end, the loudest person in the room isn't the strongest, the most focused one is. Here's what I want you to remember: you don't need recognition to become better. You don't need praise to stay consistent. You don't need permission to grow. You just need to decide that your future is worth more than your comfort, more than your ego, more than your pride. So keep planting. Keep watering, keep rising, even if no one claps, even if no one sees it, even if it feels like no progress is being made, because one day it will show, and when it does, it won't be for applause, it will be for legacy. So evolve in silence. Let your habits speak. Let your results scream. Let your future self be the loudest applause you'll ever hear. No spotlight needed. No stage required. Just growth, grit, and relentless quiet progress. Because you don't need applause, you need to evolve. Win the inner war, conquer the outer world. When you master yourself, nothing outside can stop you. Let me tell you a powerful truth: the fiercest battles you'll ever face aren't out there in the world, they're inside you. Before you conquer your goals, before you build a career, a legacy, or a dream life, before you rise in the world, you must rise within yourself. Because the real war isn't against failure or critics or obstacles. The real war is against fear, doubt, laziness, insecurity, and every excuse your mind will try to feed you. Win the inner war, and the world outside has no choice but to move. Here's what most people get wrong. They spend their energy trying to control the uncontrollable: other people, the market, the timing, the circumstances. But the truth is, the world bends for those who have mastered themselves. Why? Because self-mastery is power. When you control your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, and your focus, you become unstoppable. Let's talk about the enemy within. That voice in your head that says, "You're not good enough. Why even try? It's too hard. You always mess it up." That voice is not truth. That voice is resistance. And the only way to silence it is to stand up to it every single day. Because the inner war never ends. But the more battles you win, the stronger you become. Win the war against procrastination, and you take back your time. Win the war against excuses, and you unlock your discipline. Win the war against fear, and you gain the courage to act. And once you win enough of those internal battles, you become a weapon in the external world. Mastering yourself means showing up when no one's watching. It means doing the hard thing even when it's not convenient. It means choosing growth over comfort not once, but daily. Because greatness isn't something you chase. It's something you become. And you become it by winning internally, by taking control of the only thing you truly own, yourself. Let me ask you this. Can you stay calm when things fall apart? Can you stay consistent when motivation disappears? Can you believe in yourself when the world doesn't? If the answer is yes, then you're already winning the war inside. If the answer is no, then good, because that means you know where the fight is and you can start today. People think strength comes from external victories, money, status, success. But real strength comes from inner alignment. When your thoughts, words, and actions are aligned. When your decisions match your purpose. When your mindset is anchored in self-belief, that's when the world becomes your playground, not your prison. Let's break it down. Master your mindset. Your thoughts are the soil. Plant negativity, you grow excuses. Plant belief, you grow boldness. Train your mind like a warrior, not a victim. Talk to yourself like someone you're responsible for building. Control your emotions. Emotions aren't the enemy, but they need to be led, not followed. Discipline is doing what's right regardless of how you feel. Learn to act based on commitment, not mood. Build ruthless discipline. Motivation fades, but discipline, that's what gets results. Make your habits stronger than your feelings. Build a system that pulls you forward even on your weakest days. Choose integrity over image in a world obsessed with looking successful. Be obsessed with being solid. Build character. Build consistency. Build credibility with yourself. Silence the noise. Social media, opinions, distractions. The world is loud, but peace is found in focus. Turn down the world. Turn up your inner voice. That's where clarity lives. Once you master these things, the outer world becomes a formality. You'll start walking into rooms differently. You'll stop chasing things that don't matter. You'll stop fearing failure because you've already learned to conquer the battlefield within. You'll no longer react, you'll respond with purpose. You'll no longer beg for opportunity, you'll create it. Because when you are solid within, the world outside cannot shake you. So if you want to win at life, stop fighting the world, start fighting for yourself. Fight to become consistent, fight to stay focused, fight to remain humble, disciplined, and hungry. Fight to silence the noise in your head that says you can't. Because the moment you defeat that, the world opens up to you. Let others be ruled by emotions. Let others be distracted by noise. Let others fold under pressure. You win from the inside out. Win the inner war, conquer the outer world, and become the person no storm, no critic, no challenge can break. Because when you master yourself, nothing can master you.